because we come from the same place, even though we disagree on the method, it's important to know how each other is thinking, and I like that he does that. Next question, I think this is, yes. Misty, French. Melissa and Rebecca want to know, hi Melissa and Rebecca, who were your favorite teachers in school? Tell us a story. I had some great teachers in school. I didn't have a great time in school, but that was because of my peers. And I was weird. What? I know. My first really impressive teacher was my freshman earth science teacher in high school, Dan Frere. He was like, and still is, like 5'2" and just a complete force of nature. He's like an igniting match of energy. And I really liked being in his class because he told great stories. He would say things like, the best way to understand a glacier is that it's a river on Quaaludes. I have still never heard a better description of a glacier. And I used to actually take, during lunch period, I didn't have friends, so I would go sit in Dan's classroom while he graded papers during off periods and pepper him with questions. Here's how long ago it was. He would chain smoke in the classroom. That was the 70s, people. And at one point in Dan's class, he was talking to us about the collapsing of a star, a large-bodied star, and he was walking us through all the steps that create a black hole. And he's saying, you know, the gravitational effects compound and increase, and the atoms and the components of the atoms are rushing towards each other and being drawn towards each other, and at a certain point, all the electrons and the nuclei of all the atoms in the star have crunched so that they cannot move and that there is no more space in between them. And then he says, when there's no space, of course, there's no time, and then it collapses and becomes a black hole. Now, I didn't hear the black hole part because I was like, no space, no time? And it really did stick in me that he said this, and I couldn't figure out why. So cut to then 3 years later, I now have another wonderful science teacher, this big, wonderful Greek man named Nicholas Demetrius Zimopoulos, teaching chemistry. And I was so bad at chemistry, I was suffering through the last 20 minutes of this class, barely able to keep my eyes open. And I'm doing that thing that you do where I'm just staring at the clock, trying to will it to move faster. And the second hand is refusing to move faster. But I'm watching the second hand and I'm seeing this big, spear of thin aluminum painted red moving from tick to tick. And it's not even landing exactly on each one. And I'm thinking, what a terrible measuring instrument this is. You couldn't do any science with a measuring instrument this imprecise, not anything really finite. But it's just a terrible ruler. And then my head goes, ruler? Wait, a clock is a kind of a ruler. I hadn't thought about that before. It's a ruler, but it's circular. It just keeps coming back around. But it is measuring something. I realize that it is a ruler, and it's measuring something. It's measuring time. But what's time? Oh, it's measuring things that change. It's measuring a difference between this one and the next. It's measuring change. And in this moment, I realized, that's what Dan Frere meant by no space, no time. If there's no space, there's no movement, thus there's nothing to measure, thus time doesn't exist. And at that moment, Dr. Zimopoulos said, Adam, would you like to share with the class what is going on your face? Because I was staring at the clock with this beatific smile. And I told this story. And to his incredible credit, that's all we talked about for the rest of the class. And I'm convinced to this day that he passed me in chemistry specifically because of how much I love physics.